Hello, everyone. How are you? Hola, mi gente. ¿Cómo están? This is Lena with Especially Made for Me. Thank you so much for joining in. We're going to be doing a cross today, so I'm excited. I know we've done crosses before in different methods, but I'm doing a different method that we haven't done before. So I'm glad you're here. Hopefully, if you're not able to join us live, you'll be able to watch the replay later and see about this new method. Trying to remember who it was. I want to say it's Julie's Wreaths that made this style. I'm not sure what to call it. I know it's basically using the petal method, which is how we make flowers as wreaths. So we're going to be using that as our method for making the cross. So that's what we'll be doing today. So I'm going to put this stuff away so we can get started. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel and give thumbs up. Share the link with your friends and families through social media so that way they'll be able to join us as well and maybe watch later if they're not able to join us while we're live. Just want to show you, I just took the tag off of it, but this is the base we're going to be using. It's a cross that you can get at the Dollar Tree. Hi, Miss Kathy. Thank you for joining. So we're going to be using this base, and there's a couple of different things that I'm going to be sharing as tips of different ways that you can do the cross other than the way that I'm going to be showing you today. So in case you want to try to do a variety of kind of vary it a little bit, you'll be able to do so. So we're going to be doing it one way, but as I go, I'm going to mention different things you can do as we go along. So we're going to need the wreath base, our for the cross. Yay! Glad you are. We're going to be needing some zip ties, or you can do some chenille stems. You can cut them in half because we don't need the length of it, so we can use that. We're going to need 17 zip ties, or you can do 9 chenille stems cut in half. We are going to need, of course, our mesh, which I do have it here on the roll. I already cut some of the pieces that we're going to need so we can be ready to roll. And then we're going to need some florals. So I have some florals here on the table, which you'll be able to see once I change the view. So we have a variety of different colors here. We're not going to use all of this because it really doesn't take much for the part that we're going to need to put the florals on. And of course, I have some greenery to fill our middle. And you'll see that here in a moment as well. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and change the view here so you can see the top of the table and see all the wonderful things we have on here. And then, turn the mouse off so it won't be going all over the place. We're going to need, of course, our handy dandy glue gun and some glue sticks so that we can get our florals on there. Now I'm going to show you a way to do it without the glue gun, but I always like having two different things to kind of keep things together. So we're going to use the chenille stems and we're going to use some glue, but you can do either or. So that's one of the things we'll be doing. So we are going to need the mesh that you're going to be using. The thicker the better, I found. So this one, we've actually used it before, and this is what I had left over from a previous roll. And I cut some more today. That's why I brought the roll out, because we're going to need a few more pieces. I think 3 or 6 more pieces than what we already had. We're going to need about 7 or 8 pieces for the long part of the cross on the bottom, and then 3 for the other sections, 3 cuts. So let's see, that's 8 and 9, so 16, 17. That's why we need 17 chenille stems pieces or zip ties. And let's see what else we're going to need. That's it. So we're going to go ahead and go with it. So get things going. All right, so the first things, this is cut to 10 inches. And all we're going to do, because we just want it to be a square. Okay, so 10 inches, and we're going to just get to the corners and fold it. And then we're just going to walk it straight to that point. Okay, kind of like doing a little ruffle, just so that we can get it together, like so. And you're going to gather. So this is basically how we would do petals for doing the flowers, you know, the wreaths that look like flowers. So we're just, in this case, using a mesh that has already, you know, the stripes and the squares and all of that. So if you could imagine doing it with like a yellow mesh, for example, if we want to do a sunflower, and you can do this, you'll see this as little petals. So then all we're going to do here where we scrunched it, we're going to do our, this is where we're going to have our zip tie. And I'm going to go ahead and start on the bottom just so I can position this here. And the spacing, it's about 2 inches, depending on how full or thin you want it to be. So I'm going to go about 2 inches in, and we're going to use the 2 middle to tie it in, the wires. So we're going to use our, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use zip tie just because I want to go a little bit faster. That may not necessarily be faster since we have to cut after the fact, but hey. So we can go nice and loose and then position to make sure we are at our 2 inches. And then we can tie it in. That over a little bit. I don't want it to come out. Okay. And if you have one of these boards, the self-healing boards, that'll help us well as to where to position it. So it should look like so. We basically want to make sure we hide this part here of the actual frame. So that's why we go to the thick part here. Okay. And once we have it all nice and tight, this is not going to be seen. So once we have it nice and tight, we can go ahead and cut that. And we go on to the next one. Now you can cut them later if you like, or you can cut them as you go. I like doing things as I go if I can. And again, we're just uniting the, hi, Miss Monica. How are you doing? Okay, once we have our corners, we're going to go ahead and do it like a ruffle towards that end on the corner. Just kind of gather it, bring it together. That'll fold it in. So it should look like that, kind of like wings. But then we're going to unite it, get it, bring it together. So we'll be able to tie it, and that's how we get the petal look. And again, we're going to go like 2 inches apart. So you're going to go again 2 inches. And depending again, if you want it to be closer together to get your little wings up there, you can go further. Entirely up to you. The key is to make sure we cover our frame on the bottom. But about 2 inches should be good, 2 to 3 inches. Okay. And again, we're going to tie it using the 2 middle wires on our frame. You can leave it nice and loose while you position, and then tighten it once you're ready. And just folding it into a triangle, making sure we have all of our ends. And then we're going to do like a ruffle towards the corner. Okay, we have our wings, making petals, and about 2 inches away, we're going to tie it again. Okay, nice and loose. Decide if your 2 inches is good or if you want to go to 3 inches, depending on your look, the look you want. Just the main thing is to make sure we cover our base. We're going to do that until we get all the way to the center of our cross. Should be about 7 pieces. 7 to 8 depending on the spacing you use. How are things going for everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. That things are getting better, not too hectic, not too much stuff going on. That all friends and family are doing well. Oh, I have not made a butterfly. That would be interesting. I'm going to have to try that. I have not made one. I've made candy, the candy one. I've made the candy cane, snowman, the pumpkins. But I don't think I've tried a butterfly. Oh, allergies. So sorry, Miss Monica. My husband is dealing with the same stuff too. There's just so much junk going around. I heard there's a stomach bug going around too, so hopefully none of us will have to deal with that. I've been using what seems to help me a lot with regards to all the allergies and stuff for the spring season is using the neti pot. I know it can be kind of intimidating to use that thing, but that helps out tremendously with allergies and colds, flus, and all of that stuff. Plus the herbs. You too, Miss Kathy? Oh my goodness. Try the neti pot if you can. I definitely recommend it. Well, I mean, check for, there's so many different varieties out there. I just have the basic regular one. I don't use that. They have one that's electronic or whatnot. I just use the original neti pot from back in the day. Just do some warm water and some sea salt. That way I know what's in it. I don't like getting that other stuff with that comes with the packets and it tells you it has, this and that in it. I recommend it. Every time I feel something coming on, I do that and I do my herbs, do the teas and whatnot, and that seems to help out a lot. Normally, like as soon as my husband starts going, I start doing it. It's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. So as soon as I start feeling it, it's like, it's not gonna get me. I refuse. Okie dokie. This one's starting to fray already. Oh, these are my old pieces. That's why. It's my remnants. We'll have to give them a trim. Okay. Ooh. So sorry, Miss Kathy. Hope it wasn't too bad of a fall. You have to have shots on you. Oh, that's horrible. Let's see, how many do we have? 3. We have 7. So yeah, 8 for me. I'm doing 2 inches. You'll need 8. Let me trim this one. Alrighty. So here's our triangle. We're gonna make believe we're doing a little ruffle. Oh, thank goodness. Have you had those shots before? I've heard so many different things about the shots. Alrighty. But that's how our bottom looks so far. So we're gonna go ahead and do our sides, and then we'll do our top. I don't want the flowers to go anywhere. Again, these are cut at 10 inches. We want to make sure, since we're using a 10-inch roll, that we have a square so we can make our little triangles. You have to have 3 of them. So well, I guess if you've had the first one, if it's going well, I hope. Again, just going about 2 inches in. If you're not too sure, you could just kind of measure based on the coverage of your frame to make sure we have that coverage, which is usually right around the middle of our thickest area, like at the start of it. So that should be the same on both sides, so they'll be even. So whatever you do on one side, whatever length, you want to make sure you do that same length on the other side. Okay, folding it in over some. It could be more on the under the camera. Okay, we're walking it up, and that's all we need. Should need about 3 for each side of the cross. Ooh, it just sounds painful. It's like, you know, they mentioned shots for the knees and for different parts of the body, and it's like, okay, I'm already in enough pain. I don't want to have a shot if I don't absolutely have to. I don't like shots. I don't have any of those shots. Ugh. If I have to donate blood, I can do that. I just don't like putting stuff in my body. Oh, I'm sure. It's not easy getting those shots around your knees and neck and back, and it's different than just getting like a, you know, want to get some vitamin D and then you go and get a vaccine, you know, vitamin D or whatever they call those, but or B12 or something like that. But those other shots, ugh. I had to have some of that stuff done with my neck and back injuries, and it's just no fun. I don't like it. Okie dokie. Uh-oh. Notice I grabbed that third wire. Hold on. Good thing I put some extra zip ties up here. Let me do this first, so I can make sure. There we go. Okay. This is actually rather quick. Doesn't take long to do these, really. I think what would take us longer is doing our center when we want to start decorating. I think that actually takes longer. So this is a quick, easy project. We could probably make multiples fairly quickly. Yes. I think that we have a little bit of a delay reaction. I just said that actually. It goes pretty quick. You get to cover a lot of your frame using this method. I have a bubble method that we did some time ago, and that one works pretty fast also. It doesn't take long. I think the decorating part takes the longest. I'll go in a little bit more. Easy peasy. Like, oops, did I miscount again? No, I got 3 more over there, so we'll see. Yes, doing the cemetery, the funerals, can make it more springy and do it for Easter. We got lots of options with these. Just, you know, you just change the mesh you're using. You could also do these with ribbons. It doesn't have to be Deco Mesh or Poly Mesh. Oops. It just wants to play tricks on me. Let's click here. There we go. Okay, sure. One more and we're done with that side already. I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the glue gun so it'll start heating up. In case we do decide to use that. Because we've got options. Wings! And first. Alrighty. So now we're going to do the same thing, but to the top. Oh, cool. Yeah. Is that your main thing, doing things for the cemetery? That's cool. I have a customer. She has me do things for the cemetery for her son. Unfortunately passed away not too long ago. I think it's been actually a little over a year. But she likes taking things to the, she does visits. That's what she calls it. She's making visits. So usually we do an arrangement, or if it's, depending if it's a birthday or whatever the holiday might be, or just because sometimes she wants to take something extra to put up there. It works pretty fast when we're just doing it this way. It's a very easy, quick method. And I really like it, especially for, you know, with the crosses or when you do the flowers. Petals are quick and easy for providing coverage. understand that. Alrighty. So, sorry, triangle. Oops, this one's one of the old ones. Let me do some cutting here because it's for trimming, should I say. You see, it's already starting to fray. And that's another thing with doing the petal method. It hides that pretty well. Don't notice too much of the fraying. Unless you're right in front of it. Like we are now, trying to do these. Uh-oh, just got it up to this other one now. I have to leave those out. Sponge, the petals. Okay, and again, using the 2 middle bars. And you could use the chenille stems, just cut them in half. That way it'll be less cutting afterwards. You can do chenille stems as well. It does not have to be the zip top. Should be the last one. Go to the corners. And we're gonna scrunch it. And this one has some more fraying. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that while we're there. So from what I had left over from the previous project, I think I only cut like 3 more pieces, 3 or 4 more pieces to be able to complete this one. So I basically almost have a full roll for something else. Okay. So there's our cross. And we have this middle here is what we would have to work on for, you could do a bow. We can do florals like we're going to be doing today. And a couple of different things here, what I mentioned earlier on the video, that we can do with filling in this middle. So we'll mention bow. Of course, you will make a bow and then attach it. That'll definitely cover all of this. A couple of different ways to do the florals. You could get the floral foam and attach it to the bottom, like underneath it. You could use the zip ties and some glue to do that. And then you would just push in with some glue your floral stems as you get them ready. And then the way that we're going to do it today, so I can show you another way of doing it, we're just going to use zip ties to tie them in. So we could work in right under these that are already there. We can do some new ones and tie them in. And then, of course, use some glue on top to kind of have a double, double protection there to make sure that nothing gets snapped off. But with this, if you could imagine it, we're just making a bow. You could just attach that bow to it. And on the back, let me show you the back of it. This is how it looks on the back. So very clean, really. You can still do, let's see, do I have any of those in here? Let me see if I can pull one of these out without making a hot mess. So I want to show you something I use. I didn't think of that till now. If you're really into covering the back of it, you could use these and cut them to side and then just zip tie them in. Just match your color. So that's something else you can do. And then just cut it to size. And you'll be able to fill that back of it once you're completely done with the project. And then just make sure that you have something up here like a chenille stem tied to your top and ready so that you can use that to hang it on something. Okay. So this is something you could use for covering if you want to provide more coverage, especially if you're going to be selling it. you know, just for more aesthetics for the looks of things. You could also do that. So like showing different things. Alrighty, so here we go. We're gonna start with our florals. So that was quick and easy. Alrighty, so these, let's see, I got these at Sims Pottery. They had a sale on these, and I like having the big bunches because I can use them however I want and use part of it or all of it and all of that good stuff. So we're going to be cutting some of these to kind of have them to extend out. So I'm going to just push some up and we're going to get to cutting and see what we're going to use. Like some of these with the white. Yeah. Just thought these would be good for a base, and then we can put our flowers in. I'm going to make sure we have at least 2. Just pushing up. We can make sure we get that leaf. So basically, we can be positioning things to kind of give us an idea of how we want it. And we can cut the stems a little bit shorter. Excuse me. And I want another of the white pieces. Just making sure we have the same for both sides. So we can go like so. Maybe. I like positioning things before we put them in. So we're already extending our florals out, and it's already covering. Oh yes, definitely a better buy when we buy a bunch. For sure. And then you still have more for later. Just put them to the side and go. So I have these here. These I got from the dollar store, Dollar Tree. So $1.25 for the bunch. And I was thinking we could use these to extend the ends of the cross. I'm just pushing the leaves all the way up. I was thinking of just kind of putting it towards the end because we're going to have a lot of stuff in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these, and then we can cut them down to size some more, just like putting them a little bit longer at first until we get everything positioned. We'll have an idea and we can decide what we want to do different. But I kind of like that you're having a little bit of the white. We could even just do the whites on those two because we already have white up here. So we have some yellow. Hello, yellow. And we have, let's see, where's my other? So I have these 2 different yellow ones. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Let me see if I can point it up. See how it's got like the little peach color? It's like a slight pink with peach, and it kind of fades out into the yellow with a little bit of white. So that's why I brought these out, because it'll kind of play together. So, and then we have the regular yellow. It's a lighter yellow without the pink fade. If you can kind of see that a little bit. So these are the ones we're playing with, so we can decide which way to go. But let me show you what I was talking about, excuse me, with getting these on here with just doing zip tying. Now that we have an idea where we want things to go. Okay, so these, the way they come, you can see that, make sure I'm looking at the camera. See how they kind of, like you see, almost this would need to be like towards the back. It's kind of like folded in. It's got 2 little tubes, the way that they sell them, so you could actually spin that. So that way these can be facing the way that you want them. And that is that. And they are kind of, they're plastic, wired. So it's easy to kind of shape them as well. So that's why I said it takes longer to decorate the cross than it is to actually get it ready. And we have a little bit of the white. So we can cut a little bit more. And I'm going to put a little bit of the glue onto that stem so it won't move, since now we have it the way that we want it to face. And that's another tip also, that little plate, you could put a little bit of water in it and that way it won't stick to the plate. But even if it does, because it's, you know, ceramic or whatnot, it won't hurt anything. Just waiting for that to dry a little bit. We don't want it to move. Okay, so then once we can go ahead and lay it out where we want it. Let's see. I want to make sure we see some of that mesh still. So, oh, it's all good, Miss Monica. We understand. I'm thankful for you. I know you have lots to do. Okay, so now when we find where we want it, we're just going to go ahead and use our zip tie. And we have a zip tie already here. So you can work it into that one or just go ahead and do another one right above it. Entirely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and run another one just to leave it a little bit more loose so we can use it for our other florals that we're going to be attaching until we do some gluing. And we can even go under, let's see. Make sure that I grab it on the bottom. I think I like it on top better. And that way we can glue it. There we go. Much, much better. Okay. Moved our greenery. Got the leaves facing the right way. And I'm going to move that chenille stem over and tighten it up a little more. There we go. So we're going to do the same thing for this side. And this time we're going to have to probably cut this one a little bit shorter. Unless we do another stem on the other side. It's a zip tie. I'm going to go ahead and position these so we can have our leaves facing the right way. And the one that doesn't want to, we can just shape it. And let's see, put that over. Do some of the glue. You could do this on the top or the bottom. I'm just doing that just to secure it, since that moves. And we don't want that to move once it's in place. Okay. Go ahead and work that in. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the other side and put me another stem, another zip tie rather. We're gonna do it above our mesh. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little bit. Oh, yay, thank you. I was thinking so too. I wanted to make sure we had some of the white to come out. Move that stem over a little bit. I can do this one. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this under here using the same two bars. Just going to run this right above the mesh so I can get this stem, a floral stem, locked in there from this side. And then we can glue it in once we're done with all of it. So again, it's on there. Don't have it on too tight, so I'll be able to move everything around and put some others in since we have a few more to put in. Okay. To me, it looks pretty already. What do we think? Okay, so here's this one. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. See, their stems kind of have the leaves facing in different ways, different sides, going this way and that way. So you kind of have to play with it if you want them all facing the same way. But if you play with it, just kind of keep in mind when it's out in nature, they do the same thing, but they don't all have to be facing the same. And let's see how long we want this one to be. I think I'll be able to cut this one even shorter. Okay. And I'm going to put this stem, see if you can see, right above where we have the other zip tie for the petals that we put up here. It's going to go right on there. So that way when we do the glue will actually be on top of the mesh. And it'll hold those florals in there as well as having this zip tie. So we'll have two things holding things down. Now you could do just the glue or just the stems, the zip ties. I keep saying stems because I mentioned chenille stems earlier. I'm gonna try to hold these so I can pin them down on there so they'll stay facing outward. And again, just leaving it a little bit open so we can still put the other florals. And then once we have most of the florals here on the sides, we can use these to put the glue on and put things on top, and it'll cover our zip ties. Okay, let's check the length for this one. Make sure it's about the same. So it's covering maybe 1.5. So looks like I may have to cut this one too. Alrighty. Put our zip ties in. Okay. Put these a little bit more flat. And what I'm doing is just kind of turning the leaves a little because the zip tie is going to be right above them, and that'll help them stay upright. It's what we want to do. But again, it does not have to be 100% because in the wild, they're all over. Okay. So there's our base for our cross. Once we have everything where we want it, we can go ahead and tie it in straight, and then our flowers will go on top of these with the glue, and we'll be good to go. And it'll provide us the coverage we need. So once we're happy with the way everything's positioned, we can tighten these up. Make sure everything is in. This one wants to come out, so we're going to move it a little. And tighten. I'm going to use my pliers to tighten it up a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and get these cut to get them out of the way. And then our flowers will go right on top to provide the coverage. Make sure that one stayed in. Okay. Okay. Okay, face towards you can see it. You can even really see the zip ties on there. And I think since we already have a little bit of the white, we may not need these others because we have some white already. So I think this might be overkill. We'll see. Where are mine? There we go. Okay, same thing with these. These are also from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to push the leaves up to be towards the flower. Excuse me. And these would have to be shorter. I'll take the flower off of this one and put it on this other one. The reason I'm doing that is because the label is right there. So I don't have to worry about cutting that off. Just to save some time. Let's see, we have 3. Okay, same thing again. We're going to put a little bit of glue. That way our petals will stay put. They like to come off. And again, just a little bit. It's just enough to kind of hold it in place so it won't come off. Okay, this one seems to be on there pretty good, but I'm going to do it anyway just to make sure. Okay, just had a little message pop up. I don't know if you've heard that beep. Just gonna take care of that. Okay, and then we haven't done this one, so here we go. Then I'm just doing a little dab of the glue just to hold the leaves in place. Okay, so these are the yellow that have the same coral peach color as these flowers, but on some of the tips. Let's see, I can even see that. I don't know. There it goes. Got like a little bit. So that's what we're using these as well, just to kind of add a little pop of color. Although the yellow does it by itself, but so all I'm going to do is just work it in these sections here in between with the glue, and I'm going to glue them on there. Put a little dab of the glue. Let me see. We want to go in. There we go. How are we doing out there? And all I'm doing is just pushing it in between the little stems that we already have. To cut this one a little bit shorter. Let's see where we're at to apply some glue. Just be careful as you do this if you're using a glue gun. Do not burn yourself. Okay. Not wanting to stay. Ah, thank you, Monica. I need to put a little bit more glue on this one. It does not want to stay in there. I'm gonna find that little hole so I can push it in there. It doesn't want to. All right. I want to leave. There we go. All right. And then we're gonna add some of these. Oops. See, that's why I glue them. Take this one over here. Okay. Let's do the dab. Little dab. Hold the leaf in there. Okay, and on this one, since we're going to be using our florals and our stems to glue it in, I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of our flower. I'm going to find my middle. I want one in the middle. And just going to stick it in. We can have a little bit of the, push it in there some more. And we'll still have our yellow and some green. And a little bit shorter. Give it a second or two to dry. That a little shorter as well. And on these on the side, I'm going to extend it a little bit further out. To kind of start going the long way. Make sure I don't cover the yellow too much. And all right, let's go ahead and glue this one back together. Okay, Sorry about that. Just noticed I was off camera there. So I just put a little bit of glue on that stem so I can get it back in there. And there's still a little bit of glue, so that should hopefully hold the leaves in place. Give it a second or two. A little shorter, not too much. And we're going to do our same process again. Okay, I'm going to go to the other side. And instead of going right under, I'm going a little bit further out just so I can extend the length. And then pushing on in. If I can, because our yellow flower will provide coverage as well. But that way we can start going outward. Okay, let's see. I already had a couple. There we go. Yellow. Yellow. We're gonna go yellow, lighter yellow, maybe. I think I want to stay with the same ones. I like these with the same coral color on the tips. I wish you could see that a little bit better. Oh, there you can see it better. Let's see if I can point. There's some of that coral up here, some of that coral. So that's why I'm using these, because then it kind of plays together. And on these, I'm gonna cut shorter. We don't need the long stem anymore. We're using glue instead of the zip tie. And we're gonna push some of those leaves up so we can make sure we still have some green. A little bit of greenery. Let's see, how many do we have? 4. It might be good. Okay, here we go. And these are, they're looking like they're really fairly well attached. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna move that white over so I can listen get it covered. And again, we're going a little bit more out to add more of the length. I'm gonna hold it in place. Couple of seconds. And this one came off. Yikes. Okay, here we go. Same process here. We're just kind of going a little bit further out, making sure it doesn't cover little white flowers. I'm just going to hold it in place for a second or two. And I think with this we'll be done. I think we'll have enough florals for our coverage area. Okay. double glue up here so the leaves won't go anywhere. And again, extending out, not right under the yellow, but a little bit higher up. And let's see, did I already do it on the bottom? It's looking pretty good. I don't know if I want to keep extending it. What do we think? Should I go ahead and add more pink on the other side? I kind of want to. Let's see. That'll cover that. I think we're good. Lift it up here. So that's how it looks so far. Might do some across here. Okay. It seems to want to come out, so I'm going to put a double glue. And this is what I mentioned that might take the longest. The decorating part. Thinking of adding more of the yellow. Let's see. Do I want more yellow? Hello, yellow. That might be too much. I don't think I like it that way. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna keep on adding to it, and I think it looks just fine. Maybe more white later. I don't know. Let's see. Do I have any of the ones that are pre-cut? I don't know that I want anymore. I think it's time. I'm gonna leave it alone. One of those things like I do with bows. Like I want to keep fluffing. Fluff the bow, fluff the bow. But there's our cross. So I'm gonna change the view and hold it upright so we can see that view of it. And we're done. Ah, thanks, Monica. Let's see. Here we go. Ta-da. I don't know if you can see the whole length of it though. Let me hold it back. There we go. If I hold it back, you can. So we can see the different colors and all of that. So there's our cross. And you can mix match with the flowers, change the color of the mesh, use ribbon instead if you like. You could do the same thing with ribbons. I just since I had that mesh, thicker mesh, I just wanted to use some of it up. I thought it would be good for the cross. So, but that is our project for today. So didn't take too long. I think again the longest part is the decorating piece of it. So if you make a quick bow, that make it quicker. So if you want to try to find a quick project, definitely doing the covering of your base is very quick. It's only about 15 minutes or so. And then if you have a bow, the bow would only take about 5 minutes or so to make. So you know, in less than 30 minutes, you can have this put together. So it just took us a little bit longer since we were doing some florals and we wanted to make sure everything stayed attached and all that good stuff. So there it is. So until next time, everyone, please do stay safe. Stay liquid, stay blessed, keep creating. Bye-bye.